Good morning, everybody. Cowboy here, and it is September the 9th, and it's 2025. Excuse me for being a little bit slow. Had a rough weekend, but I'm back. I'm here, and I'm like 98% here. Got Ben Kelleran here. Ben Kelleran, who has the Contrarian Corner. And I've got your links in there, Ben. I've got your X links. I've got your Substack. You excellent work. Some really good podcasts as well. So Ben, do yourself really a favor. Go into the description, click on Ben's stuff, and subscribe. Because if you don't do that and you want to know anything about energy markets or markets at all, then you're missing out. Also, there is a link for a free Algo made by yours truly, and that's from Algo Factory. So go ahead and click on that as well. Ben, how you doing today?
It's been an interesting couple of weeks with some of the investments I have, but that's how it goes. So it's frustrating, but I think it'll be resolved here pretty quick. But definitely a lot of interesting stuff going on around the world lately on some of the stuff with Israel and Qatar and lots of rumblings about Venezuela. So I figure we could get into that and rant on the state of the world. So
sure, yeah, you're referring to Israel. So the headlines are pretty crazy because it sounds like Israel bombed Qatar, which is really doesn't make any sense. What people may not understand about Qatar is that the way I understand it is actually a big city of London situation, right? So, what you're going to do. But there's a little bit deeper bit to the story here. And the story here is such that Israel targeted some Hamas leaders. Apparently, it was a negotiation team. And they're trying to say, and who knows what's true, but Trump greenlit it. And, the article here is saying, I'll just read what it says here. Reported that the blasts were believed to be part of an assassination attempt targeting Hamas members. Netanyahu's really going gloves off at this point, it appears, and all negotiations seem definitively off. So Israel does not want any kind of negotiations with Hamas. It's kind of what you can read into that. Like, they don't want to have any negotiations with anybody. Israel just wants to continue to genocide Gaza, because that's what they're doing. Israeli official tells me the explosion in Doha is an assassination attempt against Hamas officials, Axios' Ravid reports. Channel 12 is citing Israeli official who says Trump gave the green light for the attack on Hamas leadership. There are emerging reports that U.S. and U.K. surveillance planes were in the air over the Gulf at the time of the strike. The attack has resulted in U.S. Embassy in Doha issuing a shelter-in-place order for U.S. citizens in the country. The UAE is also said to be furious over the attack. So, I don't know. Do you really think that the UAE is furious, or do you think that they're saying they're furious? What do you think?
I mean, I kind of look at a lot of the stuff that's been going on in the Middle East as there's eventually going to be a point of no return. I don't know when that is. Doesn't seem like most of the countries outside of Israel are going to team up. And because, I mean, everyone kind of knows that Big Brother and the U.S. military is backing them up. And that's why they kind of do this stuff. And it seems like they're trying to drag the U.S. into it. But I kind of look at all the stuff in the Middle East as, okay, it's going to be a background noise issue for the most part in the news, where it's like this headline will pop up. It'll be interesting in 2 or 3 days. Everyone will be on to the next thing. But there's going to come a point, I think, where Israel steps over the line. I don't know where that is, though. That's the thing. It's like all this stuff is like very fluid and changes fast. But I kind of look at it as the Middle East is basically a powder keg waiting for like a bigger spark. So,
yeah, it seems like the larger powers have tried to throw water on all of this to try to keep it from getting out of control. Right? That's what I've seen so far. The whole thing between Iran and Israel, where Trump went in and supposedly sent these B-2 bombers, but I think it actually was just Tomahawks from submarines or something. I don't know. And he, basically dropped a couple of firecrackers on a nuclear power plant that is way too far underground for those firecrackers to do anything. And then, everybody in the news is saying it's obliterated. And so it seems like with everything that's changing, and this goes along with like everything we've been saying on this channel, with everything that's changing, there seems to be a faction in the world of elites who feel they're losing power. And so they're going to start a war to try to mix things up, right? I think Vela's exact words were, they're going to do something about it. Like they feel like they're losing their seat at the table, so they're going to go ahead and do something about that. And and I don't want to misquote Velas or mischaracterize what he said, but I believe he's probably talking about the London Corporation. You know, the whole European continent and Middle East, like not the whole Middle East, actually, the UAE seems to be pretty stable. Saudi seems to be pretty stable. I think Iran as a whole, outside of Israel nuking them, is actually relatively stable because they're so big. Like, outside of using nukes, I don't think Israel can do that much to Iran by themselves. And I think Israel crossing the line that you're talking about relies on like large countries, us as in the United States, having their back. And I just don't know how much longer like we're willing to deal with it, because people on the right are tired of Israel, people on the left are tired of Israel, and yet our leadership continues to like back them up. And I just don't know how long it's going to last, because Israel seems to be just like willing to do anything.
Yeah, I think as the political group ages out, we'll kind of see as the generational turnover happens. I think there's going to be some changes that come, and I think people are going to be surprised at some of the different attitudes that are coming. But I do see one comment that I need to get to for 30 seconds, just derail it a little bit. There's someone asking on Sable Offshore SOC, but that's the investment that's been frustrating me, if anyone's curious. But basically, the short version is we'll know in the next, basically by the market open tomorrow, what's in some of these legislative pieces that are people are trying to get through California Assembly this week. So it's going to be a lot clearer tomorrow morning on, okay, is there language in these bills that creates problems for the company? My guess is I don't think there will be, but that's a long discussion. The short version is it's frustrating to see what's going on in the last couple of days in the Bloomberg hit piece with it. I mean, it's just all recycled information, but as far as like, is it like going to zero? Like, no, but is it going to be frustrating today? And we'll see where it goes from there. Yeah. So that's kind of the view on that. So to get back to the like current event stuff, I just look at the stuff going on in the Middle East as kind of a giant, not a show, but there are certain things, certain aspects of it where it's like, okay, you have some of these targeted attacks, you have some of these different things. And I think there's a point where it gets to a full scale conflict. Like you said, it's like, yeah, if you start nuking people or nuking Iran, then that's going to end poorly. But I just wonder if they kind of keep it on a like low grade conflict where Israel's going after Gaza, no one does anything because they are also going to go after Qatar if there's like Hamas leadership visiting or like working with people, or they're going to go after Iran for funding whatever groups. But I think it probably, at least for the time being, is going to stay low level until they do something that can't be undone.
Yeah, what do you think, V?
Well, I think this is more of a 5D chess. It's a tremendous attack, fabulous attack, an attack I've never ever seen before. It was just wonderful. It was incredible. It was a truly bodacious attack.
You sound like John Lithgow inhaled helium and nitrous at the same time.
My Trump impersonation is terrible. It's not.
So is mine though. I mean, like mine's like terrible, and then I'll hit it right for 2 seconds, and then it's gone. Like,
yeah, same. It's really bad. We need more work on it, both of us. Maybe one day, just you and me, just get on a Zoom call and practice our Trump impersonation.
You almost have to shape your face like his,
And you got to move your hands to add emphasis.
You got to move your hands. Yeah, I don't know.
It's really amazing.
It's fantastic. We obliterated the target. It's the best obliteration ever. I don't know.
What do I think about this attack? I think this has far-reaching, greater paradigm effects globally than what a lot of people are thinking. That's what I feel, and the reason for that is this: the United States, it's a schizophrenic actor on the world stage. It's the biggest impediment to world peace is the American government, which is led by fucking morons and midwits. Secondly, we all know how that Israel is practically the rabid dog. You have a schizophrenic with a rabid dog, and the rabid dog is Israel, and they're running rampant. For them to do this to a sovereign country, this has huge ramifications. And the Arabs better find their freaking balls, right? The Arab leadership has no balls. They're all cucked. They're all, City of London rejects and patsies and wankers, right? So what this is going to do, it is proof positive to the rest of the multipolar world. You cannot trust the U.S. You cannot cut deals with the U.S. And on top of that is, the U.S. and Israel is the worst combination out there. And then the rest of the multipolar world is going to be like, we need to de-dollarize faster. And it's pretty funny, guys. Right after China did, and Cowboy, I sent this to you and to Velas as well. Right after China did their amazing Victory Day parade, what happened to the U.S. effort on the pivot east? What happened to the pivot east? That hold on, now. I created a pivot to the east, and we want to make sure that we contain China. That's what we want to do, and that's what me and Michael wanted to make sure that happens. Whatever happened to Obama's pivot east, we're going to contain China. All of a sudden, a news report comes out from the Department of War. The Department of War. The Department of War says, we're not going to focus on China anymore. We're going to look at Central and South America, which is what I predicted years ago. I said there's going to be a refocus on the Western Hemisphere. It's going to be the Monroe Doctrine again, right there on the Western Hemisphere, and that's what you're seeing happening here. So this dying death rattles of an empire, folks, which we're witnessing with the United States. This is more proof positive for the rest of the world to look at the U.S. and say, the heck with you guys, the heck with your crazy attack dog, rabid dog, Israel, the heck with the Rainbow West that's in Europe. We're going multipolar. We're going Eurasian, and this settles it, man. This is incredible. Like you're gonna like how would we like it if people are eating, at a cafe in Manhattan, and all of a sudden a bomb goes off. Oh, Israel's like, well, there was a Hamas leader there, and we had to kill him. Okay, like it's insane.
Yeah, sorry, your 5 kids died too in the cafe, but we had to do it.
We had to do it.
Like what? You couldn't just put a sniper in there?
No,
you couldn't just put a sniper in there and just take him out that way. Like you had to bomb him. If you're gonna, if it's gonna be like that.
Here's a question for you on some of that stuff. Is I was kind of saying, like, the way I kind of see the conflict in the Middle East, whether it's Israel, Iran, or with other nations, is I think it stays kind of like a low level, like low scale in the background type conflict until there gets to like a breaking point and things snap. But I do look at like, okay, you've got problems in Gaza, you've got problems to the north, you've got problems with Qatar now, you've got problems with Yemen, you got problems with Iran. I mean, I kind of look at it as like, how long can they keep provoking basically every neighbor,
Well, yeah, didn't they just take out the Yemeni, is it the prime minister that they took out like last week?
One of the, I think so. Not the prime minister. Somebody,
or maybe their foreign minister or something. It was
something
like
that.
It was it was a C-level, if government had such a thing as C-suite.
And then not only that, I mean, they hit Greta Thunberg's boat. I don't know if you guys talked about that. That don't look good for the Euro socialists that are watching this in the Enviro Nazis,
Oh,
just
God.
about made me spit my drink of water there.
Is Thunberg alive? Do we have proof of life of Thunberg?
I hope so, because she's going to save the world from global.
Well, if she's dead, that's going to be the worst political disaster you could ever think of.
Oh, we've been seeing
for
some
Israel.
bad.
Israel don't give a fuck, bro.
No, dude, and that's, dude. Like I imagine as you said it, I imagine like this guy walking down the street talking to himself and like, you know, saying all this crazy stuff and like, you know, maybe rips in his clothes and he's pissed himself and he's got this rabid dog that's just like he's pulling him along the streets. This half-bred pit bull that was raised to fight, you know, and they said that's what, you know what I mean. No one's gonna take it seriously. If we can't cut them loose, no one's going to take it seriously, and we can't seem to cut them loose. And you know, Ben, you said it. When the current political class ages out, we might see a change, but that's like too far away. The whole world is going to pass us up by the time all them motherfuckers die.
Yeah,
you know, the people who are bought by Israel are Tim Cruz or whatever the hell his name is. I can't think of his name. What's Cruz's first name?
Ted Cruz.
Ted. That's how much that's how much that guy matters to me. I don't even know his freaking first name.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise. No, it's freaking this guy. He's 100% bought out by Israel, right? That guy's like, I don't think he's like my age or maybe 10 years older. You know, what is he in his mid 50s, 60s? I don't know. He's young enough. He's not aging out anytime soon. These freaking swamp creatures, these Frankensteins, they're in Congress till they're like 80. Like, I'm not waiting for these
We do need to
out.
put age limits on that, where it's like there comes a point where like you get old enough where you're not thinking about the future as much, and having those people making decisions for stuff that'll impact the country for decades is generally not a recipe for success. So
there's a sweet spot. I mean, look, the elderly have a lot of wisdom and stuff, but in the end, like there's got to be a sweet spot of age, and I don't think 90 years old in Congress fits. Like
it's like 35 to 55 is a sweet spot, I think.
Something, yeah, something. I would even like my dad.
Qatar has been hit.
What's that?
This is like the second time Qatar's been hit.
I mean, I was trading, and the market's kind of on a low time frame. Noticed it. Definitely, you know, it was a noticeable move. And I'm like, what the hell happened? And I found it in the news. And oil took a crazy little move, which oil never does anything that's noticeable anymore. So I didn't know they got hit twice. Are you saying twice in the same day?
No, the second time since October 7th.
Oh, and it's what do you call it? Receipts for sure, because VU told us about the move away from posturing against Russia and China. You told us about that, like, I don't know, 2 years ago in Algo factory.
Yeah.
So, you know,
this is remarkable. Like, this is bad. I'm like looking at this because I was, you know, I had like an appointment prior and I couldn't get back, and this day's been pretty like crazy for me. But this is incredible, honestly speaking, guys, because the whole thing is that you know, what's the way of putting it? The whole thing is this does not, it makes this so bad for us as a country. You know what I'm saying? It's so bad. And I don't know, man. Like this is not where we want to be as a country. This is not where we want to be.
I see this as because the market didn't react that much. I see this as what was probably a quietly sanctioned hit, and Velas in our private chat said it. Who knows what the real target was?
Yeah.
You know, this could have been something that was allowed, and you can play fast and loose in the Middle East. You know, they don't seem to care. Like,
it's remarkable. You know, look, it's like this is going to. There's going to be blowback to Israel. There's definitely going to be some blowback to Israel and whatnot, because you know this is going to get worse.
I think Israel is run by Zionists are atheists, right?
Yeah, they are.
So I think they're run by like
not all of them, but they are.
Not all, yeah.
There's those that are theists who believe it's, you know, their God-given right. You know, and
I think the inventor, the starter of Zionism as a movement, was an atheist, right?
He's an atheist.
So I don't know. Maybe it's like it's a death cult thing. Maybe they want More blood.
Well, they believe, it's this is what happens when people think they're invincible. They have an edict from God, from heaven itself. They have an unction from heaven to do whatever it is that they want to do. It's freaking crazy.
I'm just tired of it, man.
This is not good for us as a country, guys. That's the whole thing. Who wants to be doing a deal with the United States? Like, you got to be insane in the membrane. You got to be insane in the membrane. Like, who would want to do a deal with us? Who wants to sign a treaty or a trade deal? Anything with us? We're belligerent, man.
I think it mostly is something to do with realpolitik, and not that everyone's thrilled with the way the country's been acting. But I mean, you kind of see where things are headed, right? You're going to have different regional powers, from China and Russia in the east. Europe, if they can get their act together, might be able to keep their influence over Europe, but I don't think they're going to be rising in power. And then the U.S. over kind of North and South America, which we kind of seen recently with the stuff going on in Venezuela, which seems like it's like early stages, but there's a lot of talk right now about different things they have kind of planned, and different people that I like to listen to and follow on this stuff. The short version is there's a shitload of oil in Venezuela, and I don't know exactly what their plans are for Maduro or anything like that. But if you look at Guyana, which is right next door, for example, right, that's where Exxon and others are bringing on a ton of production from offshore. So it's like Venezuela could easily be producing, I don't know, like a couple million barrels a day, but that tends not to happen when you basically cannibalize the whole industry for government royalties and corruption. So the kind of high level view is, I think it'll be interesting to see where all the Venezuela stuff goes, but I think that's something where I understand that a little bit more than messing around in the Middle East, where it's like, okay, you're not a fan of Maduro, I get it, and you want oil, so right, you're probably gonna have better shot at doing something there than in the Middle East.
Well, at this point, I don't know that we have the manpower or the firepower to do anything in the Middle East. Not really. I mean, EM says we can't even field like a healthy battalion at this point.
No, we can't. And even our
nuclear arsenal, which is all developed with Area 51 technology from the aliens from Zeta Reticuli.
Our nuclear arsenal is over 50 years old. Our Minuteman III missiles, like I said, I had a client of mine who's worked in the nuclear triad of this country, and during the Cold War, and when he left, he still worked in the nuclear industry, and he was just like, "Listen, here's the deal. He doubts that even 20% of our arsenal even is functional. It's even if 20% are actually even like if we can even field 20% of what we got, it'll be a miracle. And out of that 20%, how many of them are actually functional? And this is 50-year-old fucking missiles, bro. We got nothing. We got marketing. We got Hollywood. That's our greatest thing. Everything about us is fake. And guys, look, here's the deal. Are you guys ready for some winning?
Oh, let's hear it, man. I'm always ready for winning.
Well, here's some winning for you guys. Look at that. Look at that. Job report growth. The jobs report came out right now. Right? I don't know if you guys talked about this or not, but it's just been revised down.
Like last week.
Last week? No, it's today, buddy.
September
9th. It's the annual revision. Yeah.
Oh, the revision.
The revision came out this week. It came out today. And the revision shows the job growth revised down by how many?
Oh, million jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of winning, bro. You like that winning?
Well, I think Trump.
I'm begging at this point, please, between the Israeli strikes in Qatar, between the Iran, the stupid war with Iran, and now the jobs report, this whole shenanigans they're trying to pull with Venezuela. I'm kind of tired of the winning, guys. I don't know about you. I want some losing right now. If this is winning, y'all can keep it.
Yeah, look at the number 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing with all these government statistics, when you like start looking at them, none of them track or make a ton of sense as far as actually gauging what really is going on in the economy or with inflation or whatever it is. And I kind of look at the jobs numbers like, oh, that's interesting, but I don't pay all that much attention to them. And I think, right, the economy's not booming right now. I'm not sure it's like the end of the world, the sky is falling, but I think they're going to take a shot at cutting interest rates and see where that goes. I think it leads to inflation, but
no. It's going to be better than inflation. We're going to get.
I mean, you look at
stagflation, baby. Oh yeah.
You look at
inflation over inflation.
Yeah, I mean, you look at
the best of both worlds.
You look at the way the economy's been going for the last couple of years. Everyone's kind of predicted a recession. You have all these deficits and deficit spending and whatnot, and the debt. It's like, okay, they either can push it towards inflation or push it towards deflation, and like everyone knows which way they're going to turn that dial when the time comes. So, like, you probably want to own stuff that can't be printed.
Yep. Here's or created via computer electronics. That's another topic for another day. I might do an expose on that later. But here we go. Here's a great clip sent to me by the great Gus Demas. This is what Conan's father said. Especially, he sent this clip to me after the jobs report that he just posted, the revised.
What is best in life?
No
one in this world can you trust. Not men, not women, not beasts. This you can trust.
Well, that's EM also says from his point of view that violence is the only currency.
At this point, that's where we're headed.
Well, speaking of which, now that we've gone there, I have some interesting stuff coming up. It's a very, very disturbing trend. We're starting to emulate the wonderful UK a little bit, but let's start with the UK.
I love the UK. What a free country that is.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know, I love it.
That's so free over there, free and loving and kind.
They do a lot of winning.
Oh my god, yeah, winning, and they grin while they win. It's pretty crazy.
They grin when they're getting stabbed and having acid thrown in their face too. But go ahead.
Or UK judge wishes convicted Al-Qaeda terrorist who killed 52 in London bus bombings all the best as he prepares to walk free in Britain. Now, what the judge says may be mischaracterized. I don't know. But this guy, whether or not the judge even said that, which wouldn't surprise me at all, this guy on the right bombed a bus and killed 52
I remember
people.
the bus bombings in London. And the two.
Yeah, was it like what? How many years ago?
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago. It was like 20 years ago. Like a guy
like
who bombs 50 some odd people in the U.S. You just put him in the freaking chair. You know what I mean? Like you don't give him.
Let's read this, Cowboy. Sir Robert J. sympathized with the Al-Qaeda leader. Oh, why don't you do it? You do a better British accent than I do.
Sir Robert J. sympathized with Al-Qaeda terrorist Harun Aswad, who will be released from the hospital without an ankle tag monitoring because of a loophole which forbids checks on psychiatric patients despite police fears he remains a threat. Even is the UK anymore?
Well, I say, old chap, the UK is the Queen's land. It is royalty. It is the empire on which the sun never sets.
Well, it's no longer the Queen's, is it? No, it's the King's now.
Long live the King.
Long live his sausage fingers.
Yeah, sausage fingers.
Yeah, well, I think the thing on all this stuff, and you can even go to the other thing that's been all over my social media feed lately, which is the stabbing, just like out of the blue.
The North Carolina girl.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm sure everyone's kind of seen that, but when
BLM opened up a GoFundMe for the guy who stabbed the girl. Like, what?
Yeah, shocker,
assholes.
Well, that's the thing is like when you have stuff like this happening, there's I think going to be a point where we just go back to like basically stringing people up. It's like, okay, these judges that are letting these people out, right? You're basically deciding to punish the innocent, because that's all this policy is, of letting these people go free. It's like, oh, we have to have compassion. We have to try and reform them in prison. It's like, no, they just we should get rid of them, right? You're basically punishing innocent people through some of these policies. And that's why I think you look at crime stats, you look at some of these other things, you look at what goes on in certain parts of the country and certain cities. I mean, it is at a point where, like, I think you're going to continue to see parts of the country have issues with it, and other parts of the country that are kind of resegregating, I guess, is the term I'll use. That just like, okay, we don't want to live around this. And if, people look at the Civil Rights Act as some great idea, and, oh, there should be diversity and equality and all this other stuff. And it's like, well, that is turning out, I think that's going to be one of the great kind of post World War II myths that is going to die in my lifetime. So
I think that the civil rights thing was done. At least the people who had good intentions had good intentions. I think it was there to correct some things that needed correcting, but I think it was co-opted, abused, and turned into something that's destroying our country in a big way. So, I don't want to say that initially it was a bad idea. I think it maybe there was a subversive nature to it that we'll never know if it was there or not. Maybe they planned this all along. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if they did. But at the same time, back when that was going on, yeah, it really sucked to be a black person like a long time ago. And I'm not saying anything about how it is now. I am saying that right now things are getting ugly, and I think we're being baited into wanting to string people up. And I'm talking about not just the people committing the crimes. I'm talking about the people who are presiding over the trials who might be in trouble. I think it's going to turn into, like, look, you don't understand. I am not advocating for violence. I am advocating for the judges to stop letting these people out of jail, because what's going to happen is the citizenry, who in America is armed, is going to see the people who are presiding over these cases as the problem.
Which
and
they
when
are.
The people who are armed are seeing, though, you see where I'm going with this, right? The lampposts are going to get used. I'm telling you, there's another one here. Rochester man gets 180 days in jail for SAing 2 girls under the age of 9. And he gets 180 days in jail, and they're going to let him out for what, 30 years of what do you call it? Probation. And he's in Minnesota, and in Minnesota, he has he's got a Muslim name, and Minnesota's a huge hub for Muslims, and it's basically being run by communists now. So is Minnesota turning into the UK? Like, is that what's going on? Because this guy is it's Muslim. They're going to let him go.
Let's just rename Minnesota to Mogadishu.
Seriously,
it's
though,
Minnesota.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you right now, like, there's a lot of people who are like, black, been in this country for a long time, conservatives, totally with us. Like, it's not about that, but unfortunately there seems to be an issue in places like that. Right. There's a guy in Louisiana who AR'd a 4-year-old, gave her an STD, released from jail several weeks ago.
Jesus Christ.
Violent criminal history. And all these guys, just like the guy that knifed the girl in the train in North Carolina, they all got arrest records. They all been arrested and released. And, if you take a look at the judges, a lot of times you can see like who paid for them to be in power. And so I think that I'm telling you right now, if I was the father of those children and I knew what day that guy was going into jail, then I'd have a pretty good idea of what day I'm going into jail after he gets out.
Yeah.
I am not letting that go. I don't give a fuck. I will do terrible things. I have 2 children. I will do things. That man will die slow. He will die slow.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing is, like, for all these different topics, kind of how they tie together, you see like the social fabric or the culture or the institutions that no one trusts, right? You see people pointing out how many articles has like the mainstream media written on this stabbing thing, right? How much
None.
coverage has that gotten versus some like cooked up story about George Floyd, George Fentanyl, as I like to call him.
George
That'd
Fentanyl. I
Um,
like
good.
that.
but the like you go down and look at some of these things, like, okay, if we want to like see where this goes, it's not going to be pretty, but I just don't see how we get to like reel all this stuff back in unless you get certain changes that are just fundamentally at odds with like the current zeitgeist, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's address Kiss This Guy, who is half a retard. The Iran attack on their nuclear power plant in Fordow, how deep do those bunker busters affect anything?
I think it's about 200 meters. I believe is
The
the
bunker
most.
busters?
Yeah.
No, I
something
think
like
it's like 30 meters.
No, right. I'm sorry. It's 90 meters at the most on the ones that we used.
I think Fordow is like another 30 meters below that, right?
Yeah, it's actually another 100 meters below that, or something like that.
Okay, so they dropped firecrackers on Fordow. Fordow is not damaged. The entrance and the exit are damaged. They'll have to dig it out, and
And I'm sure there's alternative exits and entrances.
Yeah, there's alternative ways to get in and out, and they slowed down production. But he didn't, it wouldn't. I mean, look, if you really wanted to get rid of that Fordow, you just keep dropping more bunker busters in the same spot. Eventually, it'll dig in, right? Like they could have gotten rid of it if they wanted to. This is not a TDS shill. I don't have TDS. I think Trump is probably the best choice we have amongst a bunch of shitty choices, and I also think everybody needs to understand Trump's not a dictator as much as many people want him to be. I think he's doing whatever moves he can. I think that if he does things that are beyond whatever the chessboard allows, then they'll just kill his family. Well, they'll erase his fucking genome. Trump's not a dictator. He's not an apex elite. So, I think he might be just doing the best he can. And I think, they've done what they can to corral him. Or, if you listen to Tom Luongo, who trusts the plan a little too much, in my opinion, but he does make a point where there is an order of operations. But no, Kiss This Guy, you're a retard. Let's go on. What else we got, guys?
I don't have much other than when India's internet got cut off, my phone stopped giving me the robocalls and junk calls for a while. So,
hello, sir. I want to sell you a solar panel for your car.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I'd be good for 1 or 2 calls a day from some number that I'd never seen before, and somewhere all over, like basically all over the country. At least that's what it says. And then like I saw was like a week ago that someone cut like the internet lines to India, and then those calls stopped, and Twitter got better for like a week. And I was like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It was wonderful. Yeah, that's yeah.
I've got the recent information where your account is now being monitored. But if you send me $500, I will make sure that there's not going to be a problem for you.
Please send it on a Target or Apple gift card.
Dude, we gotta find plunger, dude. I think that deserves a little more replay.
Plunger's awesome.
Can you find the plunger? Let me see if I can find it.
Have you guys seen? Just one more thing on that topic. Have you guys seen some of the like top people being paid, like the influencers on India and some of the stuff there? I think that's one of the things that it might be an interesting. It won't like turn into some hot conflict, but I think the like business implications for what the U.S. might do regarding India are kind of interesting with like the H-1B stuff, remittances, and some of these other things that. Like you look at the outsourcing and the stuff that has happened, right? Everyone talks about just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's like, well, if you have older generations outsourcing every job they can, and H-1Bs coming in to try and take those jobs too, it's like that's not a good combo. So
yeah,
I think that'll be something that's interesting to watch. I don't know if they the Trump admin can figure it out. But right, there was something like this, maybe something we talk about a little bit, but like 55 million visas, visa holders. So not all those are here in the U.S. all at once, but right, I don't think we should be trying to import people that like if you look at it, it's not going to be a great match. So
Well, yeah, I mean, so if you look at it this way, like companies are going to do what they have to do to survive. So when you had all this kind of exportation of everything to China in the 90s, I think what they realized was that every other country in the world was going to do business in China. So if we didn't do business in China, we'd be left behind. And I think there's some truth to that. The problem was that we globalized. So if America continued to do business, use our own resources to build everything, sell everything to ourselves, stayed protectionist, I think we might be better off. I don't know that you can really avoid going globalist. Like, do we have uranium in our country? Not really. Like,
yeah, we do.
Do we have rare earths in our country to speak of?
Not much. Not in the amount.
It's the refining capacity for both. Yep. That's the bottleneck.
Yep.
Well, either way, like whatever we could do, we didn't do, and we globalized. So it is what it is. And by the time that China came online, it was already done. If we didn't do business with China, we'd be done. So that's what we did. And so outsourcing a job to India because they speak English over there, and many of them very well, saves companies millions and millions of dollars. It keeps them from going under. It's almost it's a race to the bottom. It's something where it's like either we do it or we're done. So now we can do some tariffs and try to realign everything. I think it's all far too late. I think we're going to collapse, and I think that everything's going to get cheap, and the dollar will not be what it used to be. And I think that, I don't know, 10, 20 years, we're going to go through where basically, look, when I was in economics, and my degree's in economics, my first economics professor, I was doing college classes in high school, and he said, I think I asked him, like, when is the rest of the world going to catch up to the U.S.? Because they were talking about how well we do, how powerful the U.S. is. And he says, oh, no. He said the U.S. is going to catch down to the rest of the world. Mm-hmm. I remember that was like 97. I was like, damn, now I'm looking back, like, that's prescient. That dude knew exactly what was going to happen. So, fortunately, we're not a third world country. We may become a second world country, though. So, I don't know, man. All I can say is
that's the whole thing. It's like we're all like there's so many variables, man. Everything's up in the air. It's going to be interesting it's going to be interesting and terrifying at the same time how this all plays out.
Well, yeah, I mean, you hear what Putin said after, I think it was Putin. It was Russian someone when Trump got elected. They were like, "It's going to be scary." It's going to be exciting and scary.
Yeah.
So let's, you know what we can do though? I have the solution, V.
What?
We can manufacture plungers.
I know you're addicted to the plunger.
It's just, dude, it's a plunger, man.
I know you are addicted. I know.
Here's all about plunger. Let's see if I can.
There it is. You found plunger. This is hilarious.
That is really funny.
Oh my!
Make sure I get full volume on.
Well, talking to one of these scammers.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, we can hear it.
Him rage over the most ridiculous thing ever.
I need something. Okay.
What do you need? Can I try to guess what you need?
I will let you know once you're in the store.
Is it a plunger?
I'm talking.
Is it a plunger?
No.
It's called the dollar store and up. They sell plungers there. They sell plungers there.
Ma'am, go to the dollar store.
I know. They sell plungers there. I could get you a plunger.
Arik, what is plunger? What is it? I'm very upset with you.
For the toilet?
No toilet. No toilet.
No, the plunger's for the toilet.
I want something, okay?
Yeah, the plunger, right? You told me you want the plunger.
No, I don't want plunger. What is plunger? What is plunger? I don't know. Even I don't know what exactly this plunger is. Why are you telling me you want to give me plunger? I don't know what the word is. I don't know the meaning of plunger. Man, you f***ed my mind. Okay? Never call on this number again, ever.
We'll talk.
That's almost as good as the bloody that one.
Oh,
my
yeah.
god, the two Indian
Yeah.
guys arguing is fucking
Yep.
hilarious.
That one's really good too.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'll tell you what. And
Fourth largest economy in the world. They can't figure out how to build toilets. That's why the math
Yeah.
does not math when it comes to India. Sorry,
no,
doesn't
I mean,
matter.
I've been there. You know, it's
Can't
it
build
is what it
fucking
is.
toilets with the fourth largest economy. Yeah, okay. Have you seen
Well-
what the eighth largest economy in the world looks like? Like South
Yeah.
Korea, fucking
Oh
amazing.
my god, it's gorgeous.
But you're number 4. You can't build fucking toilets, and 80% of your country looks like a shithole. Okay, I'm believing it, buddy. Yeah.
I think that's where you get into some of the like genetic side of things and demographics and some of these different things that are obviously not heading the right direction in the U.S.
Nah, I can't
but
even talk about
I mean-
the genetics and the IQ shit. India is like when you look at ancient India, man. Holy fuck.
yeah,
Holy fuck. The Greeks, the Pythagorean theorem. Like you go to the list of like Indian inventors, it'll blow your fucking mind away. It'll blow your
Well-
fucking like look at your Apple iPhone that you have on your desk right now. That A11, the 8 chip series, that's designed by an Indian. The
No,
Intel
my
chip.
my
you know?
point is, I'm saying like the demographics of the U.S. changing are a big part of what I think Nick, the professor he mentioned, U.S. catching down. I think that's a big part of it, right?
Yeah, I
if you
agree.
go back to where the U.S. was 50, 60 years ago. I think that's where I would love to be in 50 or 100 years, but I don't know if there's a return journey on that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, if you look at with India, I mean, they produce like doctors and engineers, some of the best.
Yeah, but it's so like it's like
It's just the problem is that they were
can't
going to
fucking organize.
industrialize at the same time as China, and then the people who run India, unfortunately, or have too much influence over there, City of London,
Yep.
convince them. They're like, hey,
yeah,
if
what you
you
need is
build-
socialism.
if you build these factories that make clothes, then all these people who are hand making clothes will no longer have jobs, and they
Yes,
convinced them
yeah.
not to do it.
Yes.
You know, and they believed them, and so they never industrialized. And so you have this beautiful place, and I've been there; it's beautiful. But man, the cities, whew.
Ugh.
And don't even get me started on Bangladesh,
Oh my god, the most polluted place
Mhm.
on God's green earth. Holy shit.
dude. It's
Yeah.
like Bangladesh
Unbelievable.
is the size of New York, and I think it has. Is it 100 million or 200 million people?
Something like that. It's like it's fucking crazy.
That's
Yeah, it's like-
insane. Yeah.
It has a population comparable to the size. I think it's like 200 million people.
Yeah.
It's insane. So I don't know, man. I hope they can get straightened out. But look, there's a rich history, and I like a lot of those guys are really smart because I went to school with them, and they're some of the top performers here in this country. Like there's no like low performing Indian students. They're always the ones that you're.
I
pissed
haven't
at.
seen one.
No, they're always the. I remember. Well, I don't want to say his name, but this guy Vic.
We'll call him Kumar.
Yeah, Kumar. That dude he was the top performer at our school, even beat all the Asian kids.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Dude, all you got to do is look at the math and science competitions over at MIT and Stanford. That'll tell you all you need to know.
yeah, no, there's nothing. But how is it that you have such strong like brain power, and the country is where it is right now? You know,
Exactly.
and I think it's they've just been like messed up by the Commonwealth personally.
Yeah, sure. But Spooner, Burkina Faso turning it around. I agree, dude. I heard Terori speak for the first time. The guy speaks perfect English. I had no idea.
I think I heard him speak.
Amazing.
Didn't he speak recently about what
Like,
was
he
his
guessed
reason?
it, dude. God
They-
protect Terori. The guy's
Are they doing
amazing.
like the Bukele plan or something?
Something like that, and it's like he understands, like, you know, the pillaging that Europe has been doing, it particularly France has been doing with Burkina Faso, and Ibrahim Traoré is just an amazing leader, man. God protect that man. I mean, his people love him. His security loves him. He's gonna be hard to get, and it's like Burkina Faso is like turning around big time over there. It's incredible.
Well, yeah, got to protect him because who was that? Who was that African leader that during COVID he?
Yeah, it
took
was President of Tanzania.
Tanzania. They killed him, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Because
Yeah,
he went
so he
live
was-
and said, "Look, I did a DNA swab with a papaya, a goat, and a pheasant, and all three.
I think it was
tested
like a
positive for
papaya,
COVID.
a goat, and a car tire.
No, it
Like-
wasn't a car tire. It was 3 animals. I think it was a lizard or something like that. But
Yeah.
and all 3 tested positive for COVID. He goes, this whole COVID thing is bullshit. And he's a doctor. He's an actual. He's a biochemical engineer. The guy's like a bio. He's a chemist. Exactly. So, and they whacked him.
Yeah, they whacked him because he didn't want to go with. I think 3 African leaders were killed, if I'm not mistaken.
There
over
was,
that.
yeah.
I mean, so yeah, God protect the what's his name, leader of Burkina Faso.
Yep.
What's his name?
Ibrahim Traoré.
There you go. Oh, well, good luck.
God bless them, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, shoot, man. Fun show. We got some laughs in there.
Yeah, got a couple. You can rename it the Plunger Show or something, but
She did a great job.
I love
it. The last thing I'll I guess leave with, I'll drop a plug for anyone that's interested in energy markets. I did put up a good podcast this morning with a guy named Rob Connors. Writes the Crude Chronicles, very interesting stuff for long-term picture for oil and energy sector. So if anyone's looking for that, I think it's worth checking out. He's got a great website and a lot of interesting information. So, but nice. I think big picture, there's a lot of changes that the U.S. is heading for, and I'm hoping we get our act together. But seems like every week there's something new where it's like, now what,
Yeah, I hear you. Gents, thank you both for coming on, and actually, the Cowboy hosting this thing.
Yeah.
Folks, thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Keep it locked and loaded right here. Rogue News, ESW. Peace out, Cub Scouts. Plunger!
Plunger!